Alright, we're back. Going to show you how to take some photos using this.
I'm going to show you some of my thoughts on lighting, environment, composition, and bike setup. As well, I'm going to walk you through how I do it, and yeah, hopefully pick up some helpful tips on the way. So I've been taking bike photos for about 2 years on my phone, and yeah, I wouldn't call myself a pro, but I definitely learned a lot of stuff on the way. I'm going to try to condense down some of the most important points, some more basic, some more in depth, so that everyone can get something out of it. Alright, lighting. So I think natural lighting on an overcast day works best because the clouds spread out the light, and that allows the bike to be lit up more evenly without having parts of the bike that are too dark or too bright. Of course, you can shoot when it's super sunny and super dark, and sometimes the photos could look cool, but I think as a starting point, overcast or in the shade will make it a lot easier. The next thing to pay attention to is where the sun is, so the time of the day, and then the direction of the light and how it's going to hit your bike. And you can use this to your advantage depending on how you want to dramatize your photos. Make sure your shadows are in a good place so they don't overcomplicate the image. Next thing is going to be environment. The environment is going to play a key role in your photo just because it takes up a lot of the photo itself. And here is where you can start to introduce some of the mood, whether it's clean or gritty, or if it's shot in nature or shot in an urban setting. All these things are going to change the feeling of the photo. The background and different types of textures is really going to add to the interest of your photo, and I think the key thing here is just make sure it doesn't overpower your bike, so anything that's either too complex or too messy might do that. Also be aware of the color and the color of your bike. Sometimes it will complement it and sometimes it will detract from it. Alright, composition is all about what you show in the frame and how you show it. A good starting point is probably the drive side shot. So right bang on the side, and I think that 3/4 from the back and 3/4 from the front makes the bike look quite good as well. Another thing that's nice to do is to show off the components of the bike. This is usually done by zooming in a little bit closer so you get a little bit more detail and utilizing the angle in a way where you can highlight the part that you're showing. Another good tip is to shoot from a little bit further away so you have more image to work with. That way you can kind of frame in or crop in the way you want it to. And then from there, basically you can just experiment with different camera angles, high, low, close in or far away, different types of crops. And yeah, I'm still working on this myself. But yeah, always cool when you find a new, interesting and dynamic angle. Alright, bike setup. So yeah, these vary, but general rule, show the drive side of the bike where you can see the components a bit better, and also align your crank arm to the chainstay or horizontal to the ground, same with the pedal. Put your chain on the largest chain ring so it's not being covered up. And then last thing is just lining up your tires. Yeah, it's up to you how closely you follow these. I literally never do the tire thing anymore, and yeah, sometimes you just forget. But yeah, having things aligned and a little bit more symmetry in the photo makes it look a little bit better. Alright, hopefully all those tips help. Now I'm going to show you a walkthrough how to do it. So yeah, I'm going to show you on my iPhone, which is a 10XS Max. But yeah, hopefully it should work on most phones. So yeah, make sure you clean your lens. It's the number one tip. Nothing worse than taking a bunch of photos and then realizing your lens is dirty. Second is just you tap the screen, tap where you want it to focus. You can also slide the adjuster up and down to adjust the exposure if it's too dark or too light. Honestly, I don't use this too much, but if it gets real dark or real bright, you can use that. And then the next tip is to zoom in to change the lens. So on the iPhone, it has two lenses, the normal lens, and then when you zoom in, it goes to like a flatter lens, and what this does is help any distortion. So I always shoot on the 52 mil lens now, which makes the photos look a lot less distorted, and I think, in my opinion, looks better as well. Alright, so we're out here on an overcast day. I'm going to shoot on this wall. Usually 9 out of 10 works pretty good. You can see it has a little bit of a reflective on this fence here. But yeah, you can see the weather's pretty bad. It's overcast, it's just rained. But I think it's going to work out for what I need to do today. So yeah, here we go. So yeah, basically I've set up on my bike. You're going to get cars and stuff sometimes. But I've set up the gears to be on the highest one on the chain ring. And then yeah, I'm just going to show you how to start shooting. So yeah, first shot I kind of do is just make sure that I get the side profile shot. Yeah, sometimes this is like a driveway, so there's some cars. Usually it's not that busy, but yeah, for today seems like cars going on. So yeah, first I shoot the side profile shot. So you actually got to stand back quite a bit when you're using that lens, the flatter lens on the camera. So you can see this is what I shot. This photo is unedited, so you can see how it works. And then yeah, post here as well. And then yeah, usually what I'll do is go around the front of the bike. So I'm shooting from high up here. Just make sure some of the details you're not overlapping, like be conscious of where the bars are, where the seat post is, make sure it's not creating any weird tension. Here's the back high shot. Yeah, it depends on the type of bar. Sometimes higher shots work better and sometimes lower shot works better. This is a lower shot, 3/4 from the front. And then just because yeah, these bars are really wide and I want to hero them, I went for more of a even tighter angle on this one, and I think that looks pretty cool. And then now to the back again. Obviously you can shoot the back shots together at the same time, but yeah, I went back and forth. You can see I think for this bike personally, the lower shot from the back doesn't work that well, but the higher from the rear works a bit better. So yeah, it really depends on the bike and the type of handlebars or type of components you have. Sometimes it changes the angle which is best for the bike. And then now after I did all the full bike shots, I'm going to take some detail pics. So here's a side on from showing the handlebars and stem. I think that's a pretty good highlight for what I want to do because I recently changed out the stem and bars, so I want to show those. I want to show off this hanger and the Sun Tour brakes. And then yeah, once again with the stem, doing a little close-up shot. This is just smack bang in the middle, nothing too wild. And then the seat was next, the saddle. So yeah, I wanted to show off the saddle. And then the post is quite cool as well, but I don't think that angle shows off the post as well. But I'll come back to it later. And then here, yeah, the hanger again and the brake. The hangers are actually really cool, so I ended up taking more of a close-up shot of that. You can see the lighting isn't super good on it, but it worked well enough. And then here the rear mech. And then also, of course, the crankset. A lot of people like these crankset, so yeah, take a photo of that. And yeah, you can switch up between kind of flat shots and angle shots to make it more interesting. If you're trying to show all the posts or all the photos together, you want kind of like a variety of angles. And then here, yeah, sometimes there's other stuff you can take photos of, like if you have like a special hub or something, you can see the hub and also the quick release there. Just make sure the logo or the detail is showing. And then yeah, sometimes also your bike might move, so you gotta be real careful, try to have it stable. If it's windy, sometimes you could just blow it over. But yeah, you can see I'm not using the stand just because I think most people will shoot their bike without a stand. But yeah, I just want to show the controls here. The controls are always cool because it gives the viewer a sense of what it's like to kind of ride the bike or feeling of it. And yeah, I think I'll do a couple more shots. I mentioned the saddle before, or the seat post. I come back to it and I actually shoot the brake first, the Sun Tour brake, the cylinder brake, and then I also I try to shoot the seat post here. I can't remember which shot I used at the end, but I'll show you all the final shots that I ended up posting up in a bit. But yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, just walk around the bike, take your time. Sometimes you might need to check your photos before you finish up, just because yeah, if you go into a certain spot to take a photo, yeah, you probably won't go back. Alright, last thing to do is edit the shots. These shots turned out pretty well. I didn't really have to edit them too much, but what I usually like to do is just turn the brightness up a little bit And then once you turn the brightness up, your black point is going to seem a little bit faded, so I amp up the blacks. And then after that, sometimes I do a little bit of saturation depending on the day, how much light you're getting, the type of frame, and the colors in the photo. So this I just add a little bit. Sometimes you can change the warmth as well. I don't really do this unless I take photos inside where it makes it too cool, and sometimes I warm it up. And then, yeah, sometimes a little sharpness helps make the photo a little bit more crisp as well. But yeah, overall, not too much on this one. So it worked out pretty well. And then you can also adjust exposure again if you want. But yeah, these are kind of all the settings I usually do. Nothing too crazy, just a little bit of tweak here and there. But yeah, you can see the original versus the edited, just a little bit brighter, a little bit more vibrant. And that's kind of the look I like. And you can see, yeah, here's the final photos. So, you know, not kind of like studio finish, but I think they capture the bike pretty well, the parts and some of the background as well. It's kind of like a rainy day, so you get that rainy day vibe. But yeah, I was pretty happy with these. Alright, that basically wraps up the walkthrough. I'd say one final tip is if you see cool images and stuff online, try to figure out what people do to replicate it, and then you can end up creating your own style. Shout out Studio Rook. When I first started, he gave me a few tips, and definitely tips along the way as well. And yeah, there's too many to kind of list out who shoots good bike photos, but there's tons out there. Do some research, and yeah, maybe even hit them up, and they might give you some tips. Alright, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. Yeah, shout out to anyone who supported me. So yeah, stickers, donations, merch, and Patreon as well. So yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. If you like this video, maybe send to a friend who needs some tips. And yeah, I'll catch you next one. Peace.